My name is the Cody. That's right. The Cody. The Cody. The Cody. This is the first ever audio version of the Cody Says. That's right, the Cody Says. Not the Cody's MMA Uncensored, not Random Cody, none of that other YouTube crap that I do. I don't want to do the YouTube stuff anymore, it's just like I have to, get in the shower, smell good, look good, and all that stuff. I'd rather just sit here and just talk to my computer. Wow, that's just kind of sad, ain't it? Talking to my computer. Oh well, shit happens. But, I still want to talk about MMA, man. I like to have my opinion out there, just so other people will talk about it, whether it's forums, other shows, other blogs, anything, doesn't matter. I just want my opinion out there, so that's why I'm doing this audio-only version. It's probably going to come out like a video anyway, because I don't know how to post regular audio recordings. So anybody want to help me out with that, go ahead, know where you can find me. At the Cody _says on Twitter, www.facebook.com/thesportscody, or www.youtube.com/thesportscody. Whatever you pick, it doesn't matter to me. I will find you. So there ain't gonna be no gadgets, things, except my voice is gonna be different, as you can hear. I sound like an alien. I come in peace. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. But other than that, I'm not gonna pause the show or go from topic to topic. This is basically how my audio version is gonna work. I'm just gonna rant. Whether it's about MMA, whether it's about sports, this is just gonna be random. MMA is a sport. I meant football or something like that. Because those are really two sports that I love to talk about. I love watching basketball, big Orlando Magic fan, but I just don't like to talk about, who wants to talk about threes, dunks, with as many games as baseball and basketball have, it's just like too much to talk about. You would have to do a show like every fucking day. And I'm just like, not gonna happen. So this is how it's gonna work. I'm just gonna rant. Well, let's just start off my rant with UFC 137, Diaz versus Penn. Penn versus Diaz, doesn't matter to me, I don't care. And it's called UFC 137, that's what matters. Alright. We'll save the main event for last, like the Cody does. I'm going to first talk about Brandon Vera. Brandon Vera did win against Elliot Marshall, but what a piss-poor performance. Give me a break. Talk about fucking trying to milk it in that third round, you know what I'm saying? It's just, man, I used to be one of the biggest Brandon Vera fans. If you know me, my three favorite fighters who I'll never ever go against: Rampage Jackson, number 1, Nick Diaz, number 2, Chris Laban, number 3. Those are my boys, man. Brandon Vera used to be up there in that top 4, top 5 spot when he had knocked out Justin Ryler's Ricardo Soul. That shit was awesome, and I was excited for him, and he just kept whooping everybody's ass. But where in the hell has Brandon Vera gone? Really, if you want to talk about UFC's biggest falls from grace ever, Brandon Vera would definitely be up there. You got the Tyson Griffins, you got man, that's all I can really think of. I can't really think of anybody who is like once up here and just cannot even get past the mid-level anymore. It's just sad. It just really is. Yeah, Brandon Vera, to me, within the last 5 years, he's definitely what has the biggest fall from grace, because, like the Lights Out show said, by the way, glad the Lighthouse show is back. I don't have to do this all the time now because, I joke around that I don't have very many fans, but, I do have guys out there on Twitter tweeting me and on Facebook messaging me like, when are you going to do this, when are you going to do that? Because they like that I just have this uncensored factor about my opinion that I just don't care about. And I appreciate all those guys, damn, I call him E. He told me his name before, but I don't remember. On YouTube, shout out to him. Tim Lee, he's the man. I mean, he probably won't never tell me how he really feels about my opinions, but he's a cool dude, but I'm glad the White show's back, Chris Free stop doing the little diva shit, just kidding, Chris, just kidding. But, I joke, cause not in that way. I don't swing on that side of the plate, if you know what I'm saying. But, I'm very excited the Lights show is back. And big shout out to them, and I hope they get their next show out soon. Anyway, moving on. Where the fuck was I? Like they were saying, Brandon Vera was once supposed to be the light heavyweight champion and the heavyweight champion all at the same time. Now, call me crazy. Okay, call me crazy. Slap me, do whatever. But I am one of probably the few people that thinks Brandon Vera should have stayed at heavyweight. Yes, he is a small heavyweight. Yes, he would just get outweighed by not Velasquez. Velasquez is not a big heavyweight himself. The Brock Lesnar's, the Shane Carwins, the Junior Dos Santos, we saw what happened with the Tim Sylvia. I still believe Tim Sylvia only was able to win that fight because he was much fatter. Oh, sorry, Gator. Whatever. Than Brandon Vera. But I just think Brandon Vera had back-to-back losses, I believe, before he went to light heavyweight against Sylvia and Fabricio Werdum. Now, go back to the Fabricio Werdum fight back at UFC 85, Bedlam. He was winning that fight up until he got mounted, okay? And the referee, bad stoppage, because, he was okay. He even said, let me take that ass whipping. The first round's almost over. So, I think Brandon Vera could have easily won that fight, and whether Frank Mir was drunk, fat, out of shape, I don't care. He still knocked out Frank Mir, which, ask Willie Nelson, that isn't easy. You know what I'm saying? Ask Mirko Coca, that's not easy. You have to have a lot of power, i.e. Brock Lesnar, i.e. Shane Carwin, to really stop Frank Mir, whether he is the Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters or the Frank Mir with fake abs. I don't know, but, whichever. But just back to Brandon Vera, the fight itself, he was kind of aggressive in the first 2 rounds, but he wasn't really impressing me. He was doing what, like I say about wrestlers, just doing enough to kind of win the round. But then the 3rd round, you could just tell. I don't care what anyone says, you could tell he was taking a break, man. He was just like, he was going to be unaggressive, and he was just going to sit there and pitter-patter around because he knew it didn't matter what happened. He had the other 2 rounds in the bag. I just think, and then he gets hit, and I was shocked because Elliot Marshall is more known for his jiu-jitsu than his striking, and when he put Brandon Vera to his knees, I was like, oh damn. A little part of me was like, I hope he finishes him. Because Brandon Vera just has not been Brandon Vera. He got taken down easily, way too easily, by Thiago Silva. And when Thiago Silva was sitting there slapping him, he just wasn't trying to do anything. He just would turtle up and just lay there. John Jones is whooping everybody's ass. I mean, what can you say about that? But, yeah, it's just like, I ain't gonna, that's my phone, it's not my fault. It's not my fault, man, it's not my fault. Not my fault, I'm just saying. My phone, I am a very popular person. How can I stop my phone from ringing? It's not my fault. I'm just saying, shut up, no one asked you. I'm just playing, but anyway, back to the fight. It's like, I just have this big problem with guys coasting. You fight to fight. You fuck people up. You do what you gotta do. Brandon Bear should have did that, and I just kind of wanted to see Elliot Marshall finish him and then be like, that's what you get, you fucker. You know? Anyway, moving on from that, let's see, what other fight was it? Talking about fall from grace, Tyson Griffin loses again to Bart Pelashevsky. Not Bart Pelazewski. Chris Freeze. Pelashevsky. Damn it. Pelashevsky. Not Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone. Not Pelazewski. Pelashevsky. I'm kidding, man. No, I'm serious. But I'm not trying to pick on you, but you need to learn. You are good at what you do, man, but you gotta learn how to pronounce the names. You know, I jumped on JDH2 once. I mean, he keeps saying Clay Guida, but he has said that, did I just say that? He said that's how Clay Guida said it was pronounced, so I can't say that it is. It's like Jose Aldo. I'll never call Jose Aldo because Josie and the Pussycat. I mean, why would you tell somebody your real name is Jose? I mean, that's a girl's name. That is a hooker's name. That is like, hello, can I get my Jose on the phone and get over here? I am a lonely man. You know, I will call him Jose Aldo. You can kiss my ass. But anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? But, Bob Pelashevsky, he's a longtime veteran. He was, one of the top lightweights in IFL. That's not really saying much, but, he had two very tough losses to Chris Horodecki. Chris Horodecki was pretty much the lightweight in, the IFL. He was this young guy whooping everybody's ass, and he fought Bart Pelashevsky twice. And, the first time they fought, Bart Pelashevsky really whooped his ass, but he kind of got tired, and Chris Horodecki did very little to win that fight, but he won that fight by the hair of his young chinny chin chin. And the second time, I don't really remember what happened the second time. I just know that Chris Horodecki won. but Bart Pelashevsky, then he had an up and down career in WEC. He didn't really beat big names, but he always hung in the fight though. He's a very good veteran. He's not going to be a title shot guy, but he is a guy that will test you, as Tyson Griffin found out. And Tyson Griffin did make weight, and I don't know what the hell was up with that. And I was shocked. I was like, I must have been hiding out somewhere because I found out this fight was featherweight, and I was like, damn, man. I didn't even know Tyson Griffin went to featherweight. I didn't know Bart Pelashevsky went to featherweight either. And I'm just like, how the hell did that shit happen? What in the fuck? but great win from Bart Pelashevsky. It seemed like right from the get-go, Bart was going to win that fight. Tyson just seemed too timid, didn't want to fire too much. You know, he's a wrestler. I thought he should have taken him down, but he always wants to strike with people, and we saw what happened with Gomi, and now he's do having now. But, let's see, Donald Cerrone, damn, man, Donald Cerrone, another guy I really like, one of my favorite fighters I like to watch. Man, I gotta talk about him in the title picture now because he hasn't really beat the upper echelon, but you gotta think, look at who Dennis Seaver has beaten in his last few fights. Matt Wyman, although controversially, he beat him on, in the record books, he beat him. George Wallace, Spencer Fisher, just a lot of other guys, really good guys, and Donald Cerrone whooped his ass. He whooped his ass. I'm just saying, it's like, Donald Cerrone, like, knew everything Dennis Seaver was going to throw at him, because he was just waiting to counter, whooping, just, he was doing his thing, man, he was doing his thing. I was really impressed with that, and, man, you gotta talk about Donald Cerrone in the title picture. I'm not saying he should get a title shot, like, right now, but I would say, few more big wins, 2 or 3 more big wins, you gotta think about him. And I've been reading on some forums, a lot of people think he would be a threat to Frankie Edgar just because of his size and reach advantage, and that definitely would be interesting. Although I don't think size would matter, because Gray Maynard could fight at welterweight. And he'd be a smaller welterweight, but he could fight at welterweight if he wants to. He's a big lightweight, and Frankie Edgar handled that just fine. But as you can see, but the reach advantage would definitely be something that I would love to see how Frankie Edgar would handle that, because I would pick Frankie Edgar to win that fight just because of the wrestling. Donald Cerrone hasn't done good against wrestling in his career, so that would be interesting to see. I like Donald Cerrone. That would be an awesome fight to watch if that were ever to be in the future. I mean, you gotta remember, Gilbert Melendez is still there. Although he got upset by Joe Lozon, don't go to sleep on Melvin Gillard. I think he underestimated Joe Lozon, didn't expect him to be able to hit him with a good punch, and I think that's the reason he lost. He didn't take him as seriously as he should have, but, Melvin Gillard is still someone to talk about. You can't forget about Melvin Gillard, because I think he would be a dangerous opponent for anybody. Ben Henderson, Donald Cerrone, Clay Guida, Frankie Edgar, Gray Maynard. He's still dangerous, still someone to watch out for. But the way things are going now, I kind of predict that Ben Henderson will be the next title contender, because I have no doubt in my mind he is going to beat Clay Guida. Clay Guida is the most overrated sumbitch in the lightweight division. He's not a good fighter. He is just a good wrestler. He just can take you down and lay on you and avoid submissions. That is awesome. That is just tremendous. He is the world's best pound-for-pounder fighter in the world, because he can hold you on your ass in the avoid submissions. Man, if you really think about it, Chael Sonnen is a poor Clay Guida, because he can hold people down too. He just can't avoid the submissions. Little shout at Chael Sonnen, probably one of the few non-Chael Sonnen fans out there. It's not the trash talking that gets on my nerves, because I'm a big fan of the trash talk. If you have ever talked to me, I love to talk shit about anyone, everyone, and their mama, because that is just me, okay? But what bugs me is that he has it in his head, as well as everybody else, that he is the second coming of the world's greatest fighter. He is like the MMA's Muhammad Ali, or MMA's Bruce Lee, or MMA's whoever the hell else there is. And that gets on my nerves, because, as I said, all he does is take people down and hold them. He doesn't beat on them. He doesn't try to submit them. He just, Like, man, every opponent he faces is his pillow. Because he will sleep on you. But I'll give Chael Sonnen this, though. I have nothing to say about his performance over Brian Stann. The one thing I do have to say is that I think Brian Stann is not over that hump yet. I still think he has a lot of work to do. A lot of people thought, well, oh, he's going to challenge Anderson Silva. I never really thought Brian Stann was all that phenomenal or whatever you want to say, but, but he took him down, he kept passing his guard, he submitted him. I have nothing to say about that. If you do that, I won't complain. People say, why do you have such a problem with the ground game? I don't. One of my favorite fights in UFC history was Nick Diaz versus Carl Parisian at UFC 49. That was an excellent fight, and most of it was on the ground. It was transitions and just two awesome grapplers at work. Same thing, maybe it's just because I am a big Nick Diaz fan, but Diego Sanchez, Nick Diaz. Diego Sanchez kept taking him down, but it was like just the transition, submission attempts, passing the guard. I love that stuff. That doesn't bother me. I don't care. Take him down, but do something with it. Do not sit in his guard and just do these little tiny hammer fists or one punch every 30 seconds. That is my problem. That gets on my damn nerves. I will slap you if you keep doing it. I hate it. I just hate it. I mean, damn. Just a second. Anyway, but what was I? Remember, this is just random ranting. It ain't really about anything except me ranting. So just remember that. But Donald Cerrone, he wobbled him with a head kick a couple times. He had that killer instinct. I like how he went for the submission instead of trying to get the TKO. He really fought smart, and like I said, he is someone you gotta think about. If he wants to go down to 145 to fight Dan Fan, I would love to see that fight. But I think Donald Cerrone needs to stay at 155. I don't think he, at this point in his career, should drop down to 145. He's hot. He's on a roll. Keep the momentum going. Stay at 155. I would love the dream fight I want to see. That I would just, oh my lord, I would just be dying to see. Think about it. Donald Cerrone, Nate Diaz. Damn, that would be some shit right there. I would love to see that fight. I don't think that will happen, but I want to see that. Donald Cerrone, Nate Diaz. That'd be awesome. But maybe you can throw in a Melvin Gillard, Donald Cerrone. Maybe you can Joe Lozon, Donald Cerrone needs to move up in competition, and Joe Lozon, Melvin Gillard, Nate Diaz. Who else is out there? Anthony Pettis would be another good fight, for him. So we'll see. We'll see what's next. Alright, but let's go on to the main card. I am so skipping Hatsuhi Aoki versus George Root, because that fight, I was at the wing house, okay? At the wing house, and I was falling asleep. Half-naked girls walking around me, serving beers. None of them flirt with me because I look like a bear, man. Who would flirt with a bear? Unless you have some money. No one. So, but I'm just saying, I'm a guy, it's like, I want to look at these girls. Hey, but I was falling asleep. And I'm not even being funny, I'm being serious. I was dozing off during this fight. The only time I woke up is like the whole room cheered when George Root got to his feet after being taken down. And that kind of woke me up, and then I watched the rest of the fight. But that was so boring, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's just like, It's like, damn. Damn, that's all I got to say. Damn. What was the next fight? Shit, I don't remember. Was that fight born too? That fight had to be born too if I can't remember what the hell it was. Scott Jorgensen versus Jeff. Oh yeah, I ain't talking about that either. Alright, okay, so Roy Nelson, Mirko Cro Cop. Let's just talk about the three big fights. Okay, so Mirko gets TKO'd like I kind of predicted, you know. I did record a prediction episode, but I had problems. And I did say Roy Nelson would win by TKO. I also said there was no way I saw Mirko Cro Cop winning that fight, you know, because his only hope is to knock Roy Nelson out, and Roy Nelson just can't be knocked out, I guess. I mean, he got knocked out by Andre Arlovski, if you call it a knockout. I mean, he got hit and dropped, but when he dropped, the referee stopped it. He wasn't out cold or nothing, but that was back in the Elite XC days. But, yeah, I just didn't see Mirko winning this fight at all. I mean, I heard that Mirko won the first round according to the judges' scorecards. I know it didn't go to a decision, but someone asked Roy Nelson that at the post-fight press conference. I was like, I didn't give Mirko Cro Cop any of the rounds. I mean, he hit Roy Nelson a few times, but I didn't see him winning any rounds. And man, Roy Nelson, he got in shape a little bit. I mean, he still got the tubby, you know. I call him Tubby because I think that shit was funny. But I'm sure he would too. I don't think he would mind, and he's just that type of guy. But, you know, he still was able to use his weight to, you know, hold down Mirko. And again, I didn't have a problem with the takedown. You know why? He moved past the guard. He got into the crucifix position. I do kind of hate that position. It is a little cheap, but, you know, I'm not going to complain too much about that. But, and he nearly stopped him from there, and he was like, well, this is how I gotta stop him. He goes down again, and pretty much counts him out. So, and Mirko Cro Cop finally retires. I mean, I'm not saying this to be mean, but Mirko Cro Cop should have retired a long time ago, okay? Since that debacle against Alistair Overeem, I think he should retire. He did have a couple of wins over Pat Barry and some other guy. He kind of poked him in the eye and then finished him. I don't remember his name, but I just think after that Alistair Overeem debacle, he should have retired, because Alistair Overeem was beating the shit out of him, and if it wasn't for his balls, that fight would have been Alistair Overeem's win, you know. So Mirko should have retired then. He went on a little longer, you know, whatever. He gave us some great highlights, getting knocked out by Frank Mir and getting knocked out by Brendan Schaub, you know. So, and of course that knockout to Gabriel Gonzaga, although that was before the Alistair Overeem fight, but it doesn't matter. He's a legend. I don't think he's a UFC Hall of Famer, but if there was a pure mixed martial arts Hall of Fame, you can put him in there. But you can't really call him a UFC Hall of Famer because he only has 3 wins, I think, in the UFC. He beat Eddie Sanchez, that guy's name I can't think of, who he poked in the eye, and Pat Barry. Everybody else he lost to Junior Dos Santos, Gabriel Gonzaga, Chet Congo, Roy Nelson, Brendan Schaub. He's like Frank Mir. He's like 3-6, I think. So you can't really call him a UFC Hall of Famer. So, oh, that's right. He did beat Anthony Perosh too on short notice after Ben Rothwell bailed out. So he's 4-6. All right, out of 10 fights. Still not Hall of Fame status. But anyway, right off to the sunset. I give you a clap, man. Good job, good career, but it's time for you to go. Alright. But, co-main event, if you can fucking call it that. Matt Mitrione versus Chet Congo. Are you kidding me? Love Chet Congo, but man, this card has been getting fucked Mitrione pisses me off. You cannot blame how that fight went on Chet Congo. A lot of people are saying it was on both of them. I do not agree. That was all Matt Mitrione being retarded. I'm not gonna say he was being a bitch or scared or anything, but he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing. I felt like I was watching a triathlon or a 100-meter dash practicing for next year's Olympics in London. I mean, what the hell are you doing? He just kept running after him, not throwing any punches. Then finally, Chet Congo, I didn't blame Chet Congo at first, but then Chet Congo decided, let's fight, motherfucker. And he started punching his ass. And I was like, God damn it, it's about time. It is about time. I'm just like, damn. I was so disappointed, I'm not a big Matt Mitrione fan, but I thought he would be a great fighter. He would be someone to look out for. Not a heavyweight title type of shit, but, main event status, beat some names, because he got a head full of sand, hard to knock out, so... And I just really wanted to see what he was able to do, and he just kind of stunk it up in this fight, and he got hit by Chet Congo. Chet Congo ran a little bit, but it was more that Matt Mitrione, this is going to sound weird, but it was more than Matt Mitrione running after him, but not doing anything. It was like, I want to play tag. I play tag with you. You want to play tag with me? I make you creme brulee. You want to peck my poodle? It's like, what the hell are you doing? But I just made fun of I am so sorry. I just made fun of Chet Congo being French. I'm so sorry. I take it back. No, I can't take it back now. It's recorded. But I'm just saying, man. Come on. I was disappointed in that fight, but I'm glad Chet Congo won. He deserved the win. It was a great fight for him. Not a great fight in general, but you do with what you can, and that's what Matt Mitrione gave Chet Congo to work with, and Chet Congo did his best. So, what will be next for Chet Congo? He wants Cain Velasquez. He said Cain Velasquez got lucky. I agree. Although I do not think Chet Congo would beat Cain Velasquez in a rematch, I do agree with the statement that Cain Velasquez did get lucky. How do you get dropped 3 times and still win a fight? I mean, not just drop like, oh, I'm stunned, but like dropped. Like, dropped. Chet Congo hit that man so many times. That was part of the reason I thought Brock Lesnar would win. Because up until his fight at UFC 100 against Frank Mir and his loss to Shane I keep saying it's his loss, but he won that fight. Up until his win against Shane Carwin, before the UFC 100 fight, Brock Lesnar had knocked down every guy he had fought up until that point. Knocked down Frank Mir, knocked down Heath Herring, knocked down Randy Couture. And I was just like, he's not a good striker, but he has power. And that is really Chet Congo's forte, is that he has scary power. And I was like, if Brock Lesnar could just find his chin, I think he would drop Cain Velasquez in an instant. That's the same reason why I think Junior Dos Santos is going to beat Cain Velasquez, because what is Junior Dos Santos is nearly impossible to keep down. That was the word that I read that was used, is to keep down. Not take down, but to keep down. They say he has very explosive hips, and it's very... he's very difficult to take down. So I was very interested to see how that was going to work against Brock Lesnar. I'm even more interested to see how that's going to work against Cain Velasquez, because I'm telling you, if Junior finds his chin and he comes in shape for this fight, especially, he will win. I don't see how Cain can beat him. Sure, maybe you say, oh, well, he can wrestle him for 5 rounds, and that would be terrible. That would be terrible for many different reasons. One, it's another boring heavyweight, it's another boring title defense. I mean, who wants to see a guy defend his title by holding someone down? Chef Sonnen. But the bigger reason is, this is the breakout time for the UFC. This is sink or swim. The UFC on Fox will be the UFC's coming out party, or it could be the biggest disaster in UFC history. And it's sad to say, but there is a lot on the shoulders of Dos Santos and Velasquez to make this fight worthy to watch, because it's on network television. I think that's what, I don't understand this whole, well, this is on basic cable, well, this is on networks. I don't get the fucking difference. Whatever, that's what I'm gonna say. And it's a lot riding on this fight, and it would be horrible to see Cain Velasquez win that way. Now, I had this feeling that Cain Velasquez will not try to do that. I really don't like Cain Velasquez. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. It's kind of how he fights, but not really. But I just don't like him. Okay, you just hate some people. That's just how it happens. But I will say this. I honestly think he understands what position he's in. He knows it's the first fight on Fox. I'm not saying he's going to stand up and trade with Dos Santos, but I guarantee you this, if he gets it down, he's not going to lay there. He's going to try to win that fight. So I think that's going to be a very exciting fight, but I'm getting ahead of myself. That's like a couple weeks away. But 2, I think. In fact, November 12th it comes on, right? So, yeah. But anyway, what was I saying? But, you know, what's next for Chicago? That's where I was, I believe. Damn, I don't really know. I'm just like, whatever happened to Heath Herring? I would like to see that rematch, because I think he got screwed in that Heath Herring fight. Man, I don't know. There's like, he's a big name, but he just hasn't had a very good last couple of years. I mean, the Frank Mir loss, the Travis Brown debacle, Paul Bontello doesn't count. I mean, my mama could beat Paul Bontello. But, then the heavyweight division just, what about a Stephen Struve Czech Congo? Stephen Struve beat Pat Barry? That'd be interesting. I'm on the Stephen Struve bandwagon and all, but I think that'd be an easy win for Czech Congo, because Stephen Struve just does not seem to have a chin. Man, you hit him, and he just goes to fucking sleep. I would like to see Czech Congo Roy Nelson. That'd be a good fight. You know, you got a very powerful striker against a guy that just seems to not be rocked easily, basically. So that'd be interesting. I'd like to see that. Maybe a Czech Congo Shane Carwin, although, ouch, that'd be dangerous for Czech Congo, because, I mean, when Pat Barry stunned him at first, it didn't even seem like that powerful of a punch. It didn't seem like a jab, but it just kind of seemed like a straight nothing punch, and it was like, whoa. But, anyway, let's get on to the main event. I got a lot to say about this. Okay, so, like I had predicted, because I am the Cody, and that's just Nick Diaz, whoops BJ Penn's ass, basically. That first round was a little, that first round was like, whoa, but Nick Diaz is always a slow starter, and as soon as that second round started going the way he was going, I knew there was no way BJ Penn was going to win. I thought that was either Nick Diaz was going to stop him right there, or this fight was going to be 29-28 Nick Diaz, because he was all over BJ from second to third round, and he just did not stop. He is just fucking relentless, and I am telling you right now, I am tired of hearing that, well, he doesn't do good with wrestlers. Well, he cracks under the, he cracks in big fights. I'm like so sick of hearing that. You are giving me the guy, the old Nick Diaz, to tell me that Nick Diaz is the same fighter he is now as he was when he was first in the UFC is absolute preposterous, ludicrous, even any other big word I can think of that would describe that statement. Nick Diaz is a different fighter. He's older now, and he knows how to fight smart. He's had this. Now, I'll give you this. He has not fought a wrestler, okay? In his 10-fight win streak, he has either fought a submission guy or a striker. But you have to realize this. He has beat them at their own game. What is his name? Cyborg. The man Cyborg. Not the transvestite Cyborg, the one that is still a man. I'm sorry, but that's it. You know, he has some striking, but if you look at his record, he's more known for submissions. He submits him. Paul Daly. One of the most crispest pinpoint strikers that you could see in the welterweight division. You know, Anderson Silva would take that as the best striker in MMA. But he is a very, very dominant striker. What Nick Diaz do? Outstrike him. Okay? He just knows how to beat people at their own game. That is what he does. Okay? Now, if you don't know this already, I'm pretty sure many of you do. People read MMA Junkie Twitter and all that. Carlos Condit agreed to step aside so that Nick Diaz can fight GSP, because Nick Diaz, after his win over BJ Penn, said, and I quote, "I think GSP is scared. I think he's faking his injury." And can I just say something? Okay. If you've seen one of my, the Cody Says Uncensored, I was 100,000% completely against Nick Diaz being pulled out of his fight, because you get paid to fight, not paid to talk to a bunch of media monkeys and, you know, well, what is your game plan for this fight? I don't know, I'm just gonna go out there and fight and do what I do best. You know, that is basically what fucking happens. And then they ask you, like, what do you think about GSP? Well, he's Canadian, he's French, and he's the welterweight champion. You know, it's just, why would you pull someone from a title fight that they deserve just because, I don't want to answer a bunch of stupid questions? It's just annoying. It's just annoying. I am getting irritated right now thinking about it, because that should have been GSP Nick Diaz was whooping on, not BJ Penn. I mean, it's just... But Carlos Condit is stepping aside, so Super Bowl weekend, most likely GSP will defend his welterweight title against former Strikeforce welterweight champion Nick Diaz. And let me tell you something, to all you Nick Diaz naysayers. I will bet you my left foot, I will cut it off and give it to you. I'm not going to bet that Nick Diaz is going to win, okay? I'm not stupid. GSP is going to be really hard for him. It's going to be a very hard fight for Nick Diaz. I agree. But you can also reverse that. This will be GSP's toughest title defense. Period. I don't care that he's fought Thiago Alves, John Fish, Josh Koscheck, Dan Hardy. Damn it, I can't believe Jake Shields, I don't care. This will be his toughest opponent. Tell me one guy that he has fought in his entire career, other than the one man, and I don't count Matt Hughes, because when Matt Hughes beat him, George St. Pierre was taking it to him, and Matt Hughes capitalized on the fact that GSP was a little bit inexperienced at the time and decided to go for a Kimura half guard like the dumbass he was. But it's but Matt Serra took the fight to GSP. Most people will say, well, he just landed a lucky punch. Okay, yeah, he landed a lucky punch. I give that. But Nick Diaz will put the pressure on GSP. He will be in GSP's face from start to finish, whether it's on the ground or on the feet. He can take Nick Diaz down all he wants, but did you see what happened when BJ Penn took him down? And BJ Penn is a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner himself. He will go after submission after submission after submission. He just will not stop trying to submit you. He's not going to lay there in the guard hoping the referee stands you up. He's not going to lay there and just defend himself from getting hit. No, he's going to try to end the fight. GSP is going to be in trouble, because even if he does get him down, he's not going to be able to do much, because he's going to be too busy defending himself. You know, same thing on the feet. He ain't going to be able to do much, because he's going to be backing up against the fence, much like BJ Penn was. And BJ Penn is one of the most aggressive fighters in MMA history. And he's going to put GSP against cage, standing up, and he is going to just body shot, pit-pat, pit-pat, pit-pat. And then occasionally go, boom, boom. Will Nick Diaz win? In my own opinion, it is 50-50. It is cut down the middle. If I was a betting man, it'd be 50-50. People buy into the GSP hype because he can wrestle people, lay on them, and whatever. And people say, well, he outstruck Josh Koscheck and he outstruck Jake Shields. Okay, Josh Koscheck was throwing one punch the entire night, and Jake Shields couldn't strike his way out of a paper bag. So, that's all I'm saying. Nick Diaz is going to be a tough fight for him. You know, of course I'm going to go with my boy Nick Diaz in this, but, you know, realistically, it is going to be a tough fight for Nick Diaz, and GSP, more than likely, will probably get the victory, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a tough fight for GSP, and I will shout from the rafters if Nick Diaz wins. Because it's a possibility. It is a possibility. And I'm just so sick of hearing, I'm like, I'm just so sick of people like, well, GSP's gonna whoop his, man, he is not gonna whoop his ass. He will not dominate Nick Diaz. If that fight goes to a GSP decision, I guarantee you Nick Diaz won at least 2 rounds. It will be a 3-2. It will not be a clean sweep. It's just not. You can call me biased and all that shit, but I'm just... Y'all people gotta be more logical than that, man. It's like... You say Nick Diaz hasn't fought anybody. He just whooped one of the greatest fighters of all time. Beat the hell out of the poor guy. I have never seen BJ Penn get beat up that bad. Never. Y'all gonna be sorry, man. Why, man? I'm telling you. I am telling you. I promise you, with everything I have, this is not gonna be easy for GSP. And Tim Lee is telling me that people thought Carlos Condit and GSP would have been more, competitive. Give me a break on that one. Because, yeah. Carlos Condit and Nick Diaz are really, really similar, but let me just put it to you simple. Carlos Condit is not Nick Diaz. So, I hope Carlos Condit didn't have any aspirations for fighting GSP, and he just has aspirations for fighting for the title. Because he's going to be fighting Nick Diaz for the title. Mark my words. I said it, bitches. I said it. Biz matches. Yeah. But hey, that's the Cody. That's how the Cody rolls. As far as BJ Penn's retirement, I don't see him being retired for too long. And he's going to get the itch. I know he's still burning up about the John Fitch decision. Maybe he'll go in there and maybe fight him. Maybe he'll take another swing at the lightweight division. Maybe he can walk it. Maybe he'll be willing to welcome Gilbert Melendez to the UFC. Ever think of that? That'd be cool. Maybe he'll want some revenge on Nick Diaz, so he'll try to go beat up on his brother or something. I don't think the BJ Penn retirement will last. I more think that I more think that this. What the hell? Oh, sorry about that. Oh man, something weird just happened. What the fuck was that? But I think this is more like time off for BJ Penn. BJ Penn is just gonna take a very, very long break, but he'll be back. Just trust me, BJ Penn fans. Stop crying. Wipe your tears. He'll be back. Relax. Motherfucker, I said relax. Anyway, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about football. Let's go from the MMA. Let's swing from the MMA shit for a little bit, and let's talk a little bit about football. Okay. First of all, today is Sunday. I've watched every game, not every game, but I've watched 3 games today. I don't have an NFL Sunday ticket. Man, but I want NFL Sunday ticket so bad. I would give my left butt cheek for that. But, I'm sure they don't want it. But, New Orleans Saints, man, what the fuck? I'm happy about it because my Tampa Bay Bucks are in that same division, so now if we beat them next week, we'll take the division lead back. But because we hold the tiebreaker over the Atlanta Falcons, and of course, we would have, for the first time in a long time, swept the division series with New Orleans. But how the hell did they lose to St. Louis? I mean, did they have a little bit of that St. Louis Cardinals fever from the World Series win? Because something or another happened. Steven Jackson fucking ran all over them. Freaking AJ Feely. Man, not even with Sam Bradford, with AJ Feely. New Orleans Saints, man, something happened to you. Shit. That was hard. Man, you gotta realize, that is the second upset that New Orleans has fallen to within this past year. Because remember, it was back in the first round of the playoffs, they got their asses whooped by Seattle. The same Seattle team that can't do shit this year. Damn. New Orleans, man. I hope they play like that next week so we can just whoop their ass. It's sad. It is, man. I was sitting here last week after the Bucks lost to the Bears, pissed off as hell, because I was like, why in the hell does New Orleans and Atlanta get these easy-ass games, and we get all the hard fucking people? Okay, look at our schedule, okay? We got Detroit Lions. We got the fucking Detroit Lions. And Minnesota Vikings, despite their record, are a better team than their record. I mean, you gotta give us that. Alright, we played the fucking San Francisco 49ers, the fucking Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints, the Atlanta Falcons. I'm like, what the hell? What? Our schedule was horrible. I mean, the only real easy game we had was Indianapolis Colts, and we almost fucking lost that one. Fucking dumb. I was there live for that one, and trust me, you get more pissed off when it's live than you do when it's on TV. Just trust me on that one. I wanted to throw my soda at Josh Freeman's head. Josh Freeman, you are stinking it up, homie. You need, man, franchise quarterback. You need to do better. But, yeah, but moving on from that, okay. College football fan, I'm a heavy Florida Gators fan, okay? So I'm a big Tim Tebow supporter, but, man, I'm not going to give up on him yet, because the Detroit Lions have an awesome defense, but, man, he stunk up the field today. He didn't have it. He just didn't have it. Overthrowing people still. Can't get out the fucking pocket. I mean, he didn't have no, by any means, he didn't have any fucking help. His offensive line, like, took a fucking nap every time, the Detroit Lions would blitz. Be like, oh, no, let me open that door for you, sir. Oh, go right on in and get my quarterback. And yeah, just kidding. I want Brady Quinn to play. Go get him, you know. That is sad to me, man. It's just like, I want Team Tebow to succeed. I hate the fucking Broncos team. I've always been a Broncos hater, but I want Tim Tebow to fucking do something, man. You don't have to win. Just throw for about 300 yards and run for about 100 yards, and, you know, then the loss wouldn't be your fault. But, you know, I'm sad about Tim Tebow losing. Nah. I want to hit on something else. This Andrew Luck sweepstakes shit has to be the dumbest thing I have ever heard. You know, and it's not because it's fucking Stanford, you know. Yeah, never mind. But it's like, let's suck for luck. So you want the Dolphins and the Colts to just stink up the field so they can have a quarterback that might Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, Tony Mandarich, the shit. If you don't know who those people are, they are three of the biggest busts in NFL history. Now, for you non-football fans, the term busts is a terminology used when there is a lot of hype surrounding a college player and they get drafted high into the first round and then they just stink up the field. That is a bust. Ryan Leaf, one of the biggest ones. Jamarcus Russell, probably behind him, and then you got Tony Mandarich. You know, Tony Mandarich had to be one of. I can't remember what year this was, but I just remember the story so well. He was one of the biggest. What do you call that? Offensive lineman prodigies in probably the entire NFL history, up until Michael Orr came in. You know, Michael Orr, the product of The Blind Side, the movie, playing for the Baltimore Ravens. But he was just so highly touted, and you know, everybody wanted him because he would just drive defensive men into the fucking ground. You know, he was a beast. But man, when he started playing, Reggie White, one of the best Philadelphia Eagles defensive ends on the fucking planet, Philadelphia Eagle, Green Bay Packer, both of those, he was a beast, and he was just whooping Tony Mandarich's ass, man. He was just fucking him up. I was like, what the hell? What the hell? You know, he just ran all. It was like, and everybody did it to Tony Mandarich. It was just like, done. You're shocked. I know what I'm talking about. See, MMA, I'm kind of, I've been a fan for about 2011, let's see. It's been a while. I mean, I was a fan of the UFC before The Ultimate Fighter 1. If you don't know the story, the very first MMA fight that I ever watched, the very first was the UFC 40 Vendetta card between Tito Ortiz and Ken Shamrock. I heard about Ken, I was big into the WWE wrestling back in the day. Ken Shamrock was a former WWE wrestler, and I kind of heard about it, wanted to see him fight, got his ass fucking handed to him, and yeah, and then I kind of was like, I'm not really into this, and then we watched the Pride bout. Damn, I have the name of the pay-per-view sometimes, and then I don't. But the Pride bout between Rampage Jackson and Kevin Randleman is what made me an MMA fan. Can I just tell the story one more time? Y'all probably heard the story 100 times. Let me just tell it. I was with my buddies watching this, okay? About 5 of them. There's 6 of us watching this. All of them are like, Kevin Randleman's gonna fuck him up. Man, this Quentin Jackson guy, because, they really call him by Rampage, and then ain't nothing on Kevin Randleman. And then Quentin Rampage Jackson whoops his ass. And I'm the only one like, fuck you, and fuck you. I didn't know who Quentin Jackson was at the time. I didn't know who Kevin Randleman was at the time. But, yeah, so, whatever that was, that's how long I've been an MMA fan. But football, since I was 6 years old, and when I was 8, 9, and 10 years old, and I started really getting into NFL statistics, and I started studying up on that shit, I would look all over for VHS tapes for like old games. I would watch old games. I would read up on old players like Joe Montana and Joe Namath and all them guys. I know football. So, am I the number 1 football guy in the world? No, I'm not saying that, but hell, I didn't even know Dan Marino didn't have a Super Bowl ring. See, I'm not perfect. I didn't know that. I thought he won at least one, but the truth is he's only been to one, and he lost it, so. Yeah, I didn't even see. I ain't perfect. But football is my number 1 sport. I could sit here and talk about football all day. But, yeah, y'all want me to help y'all a little bit? Let me help you out. I have a lot of friends that are New York Jets fans, including the White House Show JDH. So I'm gonna help y'all out here. I'm gonna tell you what the fuck is wrong with y'all's Jets, okay? Because everybody on freaking Facebook and even on Twitter, some people on Twitter even complain to me. It's like, Tony, why the hell did the Jets suck so bad? And I'm just like, you want me to tell you? Here, I'll tell you. Okay. And this one is mainly for David. This is for you, David. This is for you, homie. Now, let me tell you. Okay. Number 1, Mark Sanchez is not the greatest quarterback in the world. Alright? He was okay at USC, but the fact that he was so highly touted as he was just made me sick. Because he wasn't that good to begin with. And as he has proven, especially this year, he is not that good, period. I mean, they couldn't even get a first down to fucking save their lives against the Miami Dolphins. They won that game, but at first they were just like, they were ballerinas all over the fucking field. And he's like, Prince, it's like, hey, come on. But that's not your main problem. Your main problem is that you gave away Thomas Jones back in the Brett Favre era, okay? Right after that Brett Favre shit, and then you had that fucking miracle in the playoffs, Sean Green happened, y'all thought, oh, well, let's just get rid of Thomas Jones. Dude, no. You need someone that's going to pound the rock. And I love LaDainian Tomlinson. He's one of my favorite players of all time. But he just don't have it anymore. And that is not, he ain't going to help you. To win a football game, you need to run the ball. You cannot be one-dimensional and be bad at that one dimension. Yes, you guys are bad at that one dimension. Because you got two of the biggest, deepest threats in the NFL in wide receiver in Plexico Burress and Santonio Holmes. Those dudes can burn you, burn you with a deep ball. That is how they are made. Did you see Santonio Holmes in the Super Bowl against the Cardinals? Did you see Plexico Burress in the Super Bowl against the Patriots? They are deep threats. Use them. You throw like 5 passes to them a game. I don't remember the last time that any of them had at least over 50 yards of a receiving. I mean, damn. You got rid of Derek Mason, but you're not using the weapons that you have. Dustin Keller, he's a good tight end and all, but stop relying on him. Fucking, what are you, Tony Romo now? Being butt buddies with Jason Witten? Just give me a break on that, man. Use Plexico Burress. Use Santonio Holmes, man. But that's not your biggest problem. You're bad at the one dimension, but you move the ball sometimes when throwing it. Okay, you're not completely horrible. You're completely a horrible running team. Okay, you got, man, who's that dude from USC? Okay, he's a rookie. He was a USC running back. I can't remember his fucking name. Joe McKnight. Okay, you got him. Use him a little bit. See what he's got, He was pretty good at USC. He wasn't that bad, He couldn't do any worse than Sean Green and LaDainian Tomlinson did. He can't do any worse, alright? You also got free agents out there. Kick me in my ass and call me stupid, but Tiki Barber's there. He hasn't played football in about 5 years, but he's out there. You got Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis is a good running back. I mean, he hasn't been good in a couple of years, but, you never know when he can break off one. He is the pound the rock type of running back. You got Willie Parker, known for one of the longest runs in Super Bowl history with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson was one of the top running backs in the NFL a few years ago. So, I mean, go out and sign somebody, dumbass. Go sign a running back if you're not going to use Joe McKnight. Because Sean Green and LaDainian Tomlinson is not getting it done for you. It is just not working out. You can try a wildcat formation all you want, but that's just not happening. That is just not happening. Am I a big Jets fan? Not a big fan. I mean, to tell you the truth, I do go for them a lot because, like I said, a lot of my buddies like the New York Jets. But I watched them enough to know that, come on, you don't have a running game. Hell, man, there are some college teams out there, bad college teams whose running game is better than yours. Man, I went to a Little League game today, my cousin George's Little League game, and they had a better running game than you do. They're playing younger kids, but still, man, get one of them to run for you if you can't run. Yeah, you need a running game, because play-action passes open up the passing game, because the defensive front of the defensive front of all your opposing team know what you're going to do most of the time. And you're not making... the play action can set up the safeties, so the safeties will bite on the run. And then what happens when a safety comes down? Okay? What happens? Hello? Hello? Exactly. Leaves the receiver wide open. Your biggest deep threats, bursts, homes. That's a way you can use them. Aight? Man, you got it. That defense is, you got a good defense, you know. You got Darrelle Revis and Antonio Cromartie. They are the best quarterback tandem in the game. There is nobody that rivals them, okay? Nobody, okay? You got a good defense. That's not your problem. You got good guys. You got Bart Scott. You got, shit, man. I know y'all got a pass rush. I just can't think of their names right now. But, I know I'm probably not telling you anything you don't already know, but you need a running game to set up a passing game. It'll make your passing game better, and it'll just make you a better team. Period. So that's the problem with the New York Jets. Also, and I just want to say, there's one last thing that I'm having a problem with. Nnamdi Asomugha, one of the biggest free agents in the offseason. Right under Darrelle, like, when you talk about cornerbacks, you're talking about, in my opinion, you got right here Darrelle Revis, and then you got Nnamdi Asomugha. That's how it was, okay? Philadelphia Eagles is one of my 3 favorite teams. I love the Philadelphia Eagles. Big Michael Vick fan. Big Deshaun Jackson fan. Y'all just beat the Dallas Cowboys just a few minutes ago, but y'all are using Nnamdi Asomugha the wrong way. Nnamdi Asomugha is a shutdown corner. He is a man-to-man corner. He is not a zone corner. Stop putting him in zone coverage. For those of you who don't know it, man-to-man is a Darrelle Revis type cornerback that he hits you at the line and he sticks on you like glue. He's cutting off your routes. He's sticking to you. He's not letting you get a touchdown. He ain't letting you do shit. Okay. The zone corner is someone that gives that receiver a little cushion. He follows him for a little bit just in case he decides to run a screen route or, run a quick out or anything like that. But if he's running a deep route, the cornerback will release him to the safety. That is not Nnamdi Asomugha's game. That's an Asante Samuel game. That's a Champ Bailey game. He is a man-to-man corner. Get him up so he can sit there and stick somebody, dude. He is like Darrelle Revis, okay? He's not better than Darrelle, but he is still really good. Use him better, man. That's all I'm saying. You use him better, you limit your defense would be much better. You know, you got Jason Davin, you got Trent Cole, you got Asante Samuel, one of the best ball hawks in the game. That man can intercept anything. You got Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, who is also a man-to-man corner. Fucking use him right, and see what happens. Y'all just won, 34-7. See what happens? And I do believe up until late fourth quarter, Dennis Bryant didn't even have a fucking catch. Nnamdi was on his ass like glue. Like I said, I'm not a football genius, but I know what I'm talking about. So, use him right, and you might just turn this thing around, maybe be a Super Bowl team, although I am still picking the Baltimore Ravens, even though they stunk it up against the Jaguars. What the fuck was that about? And the Cardinals, they beat the Cardinals, but they still stunk it up against them. I want to know what the hell that was about. But I'm still picking Baltimore, although Pittsburgh. Is Pittsburgh gonna win another fucking Super Bowl? Damn, man. They lit up the Patriots. I mean, the score looks closer than it actually was. Trust me on that one. But anyway, that's gonna do it for the first audio only version of the Cody Says. Appreciate you guys listening. Final thoughts here. I can't wait for Nick Diaz GSP. We got the November 5th. Don't forget, we got the November 5th fight card first before the UFC on Fox fight card. It's that free fight card that no one cares about. That the only two marketable fights, the only marketable fight on there is Chris Levin versus Mark Munoz. So, other than that, who's really gonna watch? I mean, you got Thiago Alves on there, but he's fighting nobody. He ain't fighting shit. I mean, come on, man. He ain't fighting anybody. So, you still got that card first. Man, Mark Munoz is a beast. I still think Mark Munoz is a guy who deserves a title shot over Chael Sonnen. And, I just hope my boy Chris Levin can pull up the upset on that one, but that's probably going to be all Mark Munoz on that one. The fuck? So Tony Russo was wearing a freaking Rams jersey. See, I'm watching highlights right now. They did have St. Louis Cardinal fever. That's why the Rams won. Shit, man, if the Cardinals could win a World Series every day, maybe the Rams would be a freaking over 500 team. I'm just saying. But anyway, that's gonna close it out. Again, thank you guys for listening. I know I said that, but Lights Out Show, come back please, man. I like listening to y'all. Y'all awesome. Timmy, you're the man. Dave, everybody else. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and take it for anybody because I do all this shit myself. So, I'll be posting one every Sunday night. You know, I'm not trying to take anyone's space. Like I said, I just like having my opinion out so people will talk about it. And hopefully y'all will talk about it. So, alright, well, for the Cody, I am the Cody. The Cody Says.